All right, good. I was going to say good morning, but it could be afternoon or even night. But, anyways, hello, everybody. What I wanted to do is I wanted to put together a series of quick videos showing how you can use the accessibility features that are built into a Chromebook. Okay, and so that being said, there are differences between how a student can access accessibility features on a Chromebook, like I'm on right now, or from an iPad, or from, let's say, a desktop or a laptop that's using the Chrome browser. Okay, so those are three different things, but I'm going to focus with on this series of videos specifically on how we can use the accessibility features on a Chromebook. Okay, so this first one is going to be just an intro into the where you can find resources to come back to it. Okay, so in case you forget, um, you'll know where to come back and find answers to any of the questions you have over accessibility. Okay, so once I do that, once I show you how to get to the resources, the next things I'm going to show you is where you can turn on the 5 features that Chromebooks do have. You can have text to speech. Okay, so that's what people usually call a screen reader. So it'll read the text and then um, it'll talk it out. I'm also going to show you how to turn on the display. Okay, so you can change the words, the colors, how it projects on the screen. And then I'm going to show you how to turn on the keyboard features. So these kind of help you, you can focus on highlighting the repeat rate, word prediction, those types of things with the keyboard. And then how you can use the mouse and touchpad features. And then the last one is the audio. Okay, but I'll show you where they're at in this video, and then the next I'm gonna make 5 more videos just to show you very quickly in detail what each one of those separate features are. Okay, so let's get started. So from a Chromebook, hopefully you have used a Chromebook before. If not, what it does is it'll just prompt you to log in. And since if you're using a Northside device, just use your email, your student email, and your 4x4 to log in. So once you log in, it'll show up on this screen. Okay, look for Chrome, which is your internet browser, and go ahead and launch it. And I'm going to close this window right here so it doesn't get in the way. Okay, so there I am. I'm going to close this too so it doesn't distract. Okay, so now here is our Chrome browser. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to the right side where we have our settings. Okay, so here we see how much charge we have on our battery, whether we're connected to the Wi-Fi, and then these are notifications, this little number 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on um, another little icon that'll take us directly to the accessibility feature. So it's like a shortcut. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click anywhere on here. I'm just going to, point my cursor right above the Wi-Fi. So I'm going to click once, and then I get this little view right here. So this gives me all the settings. So here's where I can sign out. I can turn it off. I can lock it. Okay. Here's where I can change the Wi-Fi notifications. Okay, I can set the night volume, and then there's other settings. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the little gear icon that says settings. Okay, so then that brings up all of our settings of our Chromebook. So over here on the left side, you can see the same type of access that we had by clicking on the settings down here, but it just looks different. Okay, so here we can change our network. We can add Bluetooth devices, maybe a speaker. We can connect devices. We can add people who can log in, personalize all that stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click down here on the advanced area. So then now I get more features. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click accessibility, since that's what we're talking about. So I'm going to click on accessibility. Okay, so now the first thing we're going to do is look at this option where it says always show accessibility options in the system menu. I'm going to turn this on. Okay, so now once that's on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this window out. And so what that does is here at the bottom, I now have accessibility. Okay, so I can get to it a lot quicker. And then here I can see some of the things I could change, like the Chromebook, select to speak, dictation, high contrast, magnifiers. Okay, and then there's other settings that I can get to right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click back on, let's see if this will take us straight to the accessibility part. Okay, yes, it does. So the other things I'm going to do, I'm going to click on accessibility. Okay, so this is where we started from the beginning. Okay, always show accessibility options in the system menu. So whenever I come down here on the menu, I'm going to see accessibility. Okay, so now it's there, and it's always going to be there because we turned that button on. Oops, so let me go back to it because we turned this button on. Okay, so now how can we manage the features? Okay, so if we click right here and drop down the options, here's where we can start to turn on the features. So earlier when I mentioned that the Chromebook has text to speech, or what people usually call a screen reader, this is where we can turn that on. And I'm going to make another video just to show how to use each one of these sections. Okay, text to speech. Here we can set display accessibility, so we can do things like high contrast, full screen mode. Okay, now here we can do keyboard and text input accessibility features. Okay, here we can do some mouse and touchpad features, and then audio and captions. Okay, so those are the major accessibility features that the Chromebook has. Okay, and then within each side of them, within each one of them, you could turn them on and then adjust. Okay, but those are going to be the next videos that I'm going to make. But for now, that is how you can turn it on. Now, there is one more thing that I want to mention. So this is using a Chromebook. Okay, if you're on a laptop, a desktop, or an iPad, there are different accessibility features that are available on those devices. Okay, so here we're turning the features on for the device, okay, for the Chromebook itself. When you're on a laptop or a desktop, that device has its own operating system accessibility features. Okay, so it's a little different. Now, the thing that kind of gets confusing is if you are using a laptop or a desktop and you go into the Chrome browser, right? You go into the internet and you open up the Chrome browser, there are more features. If you go into these three dots and then you go into settings, here on the left side, you also have advanced. And then here you can see accessibility again. Okay, so now these accessibility features are available on the browser. Okay, it's a little different. So the browser has its own accessibility features, and the Chromebook itself has its own features. Okay, so I know it might get a little confusing, but explore it and see what each one of them has. Okay, so the difference is that you can get onto the Chrome browser on a Chromebook, on a laptop, on a desktop, or on an iPad, and as long as you're using the Chrome browser, you're on the internet and you're using the browser, you can set these settings. Okay, And if you're logged into the browser, then the settings will be on any one of the machines that you use. So like if you're switching from a desktop to a laptop, the settings will be there. Okay, so that's kind of the difference. Okay, so I clicked on accessibility. Here you can go into it and then manage some of the settings. Okay, so here you have the text to speech. Here you have the display, keyboard, the mouse and touchpad. Again, this is only if you're using the browser, and depending on the browser too, because when I clicked on it right now, it actually brought up the settings of my Chromebook. Okay, so if you're on a desktop or a laptop, this is going to look different. Okay, it's going to bring up different features. So that's where it gets a little different. But for now, if you don't remember everything, just remember this. When you log in, okay, you come to your Chrome, you're logged into your Chromebook. Come over here to the right and click on the menu. Go into the gear icon. On the left side, go into advanced and then go into accessibility and then turn it on right here. And then the next thing is you can click right here where it says manage accessibility features. And then here's where you can find all the accessibility features. Okay, so that's how you can turn them on. And I'm going to do the next 5 videos just so we can look at specifically at each one of these areas. And then you can see what it is that will help you get access to the materials that are shared with you. Okay, so I hope you found this one useful.